Hi, my name is Phoebe. I'm a guide in the National Parks and Wildlife Service here in the Burren National Park. Welcome to the Burren in Bloom online festival. I'm here on the slopes of Mullaghmore in the centre of the National Park. I'm going to show you some of the famous Burren flowers in bloom at the moment. So before we have a look at some of the flowers, just showing you the view here of Lake Gallon in the sun. It's actually Irish for shining lake, and then we are on the slopes of Mullaghmore. So here is the first of the flowers I wanted to show you today. This is a hoary rock rose, only in bloom in the full sun, blooming at the moment in May. This is an alpine plant, usually found in the slopes of mountains in the Mediterranean region. Rare in Britain, loves the Burren, a real Burren speciality. And close by to that alpine hoary rock rose I showed you, we have a Mediterranean speciality here, bloody cranesbill, a member of the geranium family, flowering in the Burren for most of the summer.
Hello, my name is Jesmond Harding and I'm standing here in South Meath in a townland called Barrackstown. Barrackstown and Mulhuzzy and Pagestown are all in South County Meath. The land here was purchased by the Land Commission in between the 1930s and the 1970s and divided up into farms of between about 30 and 70 acres. It was then given to farmers from Mayo and County Galway, and some of those farmers or their descendants still live here today. Because these farms are quite small, the fields were never intensively farmed, so some nice habitat here. And one of the special spring butterflies that occurs here is the small copper butterfly, and we're going to have a look at that now. The small copper butterfly is one of the most beautiful spring butterflies. It has beautiful copper coloured wings with black spots. Here we can see a male basking on gorse. This beautiful insect is never found in very large numbers, but it is very widespread across Ireland. And here we can see him fidgeting on the gorse. He's obviously reacting a little bit to the shade of the camera touching the lower hind wing, but as you can see, he's a really attractive fellow. Not always easy to see. They're quite small, but absolutely delightful when you do see them. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed our video, our little take on the small copper butterfly here in Meath, in County Meath in May 2020. Bye bye.
Hi, I'm Dara O'Creadon, and my wife Mary Quealy is doing the Lenny Abraham stuff with the phone, and we are both members of Burren Bio Trust for the past year, and we have attended most of the walks, talks and watched the more recent webinars. I want to talk to you this morning about our rhubarb. The first reason why it is our favourite plant is that we know its name, and we are rank amateurs in the gardening business, so we don't know the name of everything we have, so knowing that this stuff is called rhubarb is a good start. Second, rhubarb is very generous to us. Its season starts in February, before any other plants are in the ground, let alone delivering any harvest to us, and it continues to deliver stuff all the way through June. And we use it for stewed rhubarb, we make cakes and we make tarts, and we are able to give some to our friends. Even in this small supply here, there is plenty. The third reason why it's our favourite plant is that this rhubarb was planted over 20 years ago by my parents, who are both dead now for over a decade, and they left a substantial imprint on our garden. And I think they would be as proud of the legacy they have left to the earth as they would of anything else in their lives, because they were both very, very keen gardeners. Preparing to talk about rhubarb this morning, the thought occurred to me, is rhubarb a fruit or a vegetable? And I checked with that authoritative source, Mr. Google. And Google said, somewhat enigmatically, rhubarb is technically a vegetable, but is legally a fruit. Make of that what you will. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Killian Roden, an ecologist living in Kinvara, County Galway. Here I want to talk about a plant called yellow rattle, which is very useful in increasing biodiversity in old grassland. In this particular field, grasses are totally dominant and there are relatively few flowers. Here we've got bird's-foot trefoil and in the corner buttercups and also a terrier. Here's the plant I want to talk about, yellow rattle. It's very important because it's parasitic on grasses and it reduces their diversity and makes room for other flowering plants to appear. It's a rather pretty plant, quite small, about 20 centimetres, opposite leaves, square stems, toothed leaves. The flowers you see here have an interesting blue tip at the end of the corolla and are surrounded by a very large calyx, which when the plant is mature, has set seed, inflates and the seeds inside it rattle to give it its name. You should get about 50 seeds in each pod, so one plant could produce several hundred seeds. So once established, it should spread quite quickly. This is my third attempt and my first successful attempt. So far I've about 50 plants. What seems to work is to gather seeds as early as possible, to sow immediately in very short mown grass, and to make sure they are overwintered in situ. Then you should have some success. Hopefully my population will boom.
Hi there, my name is Mary Howard and I am very fortunate to live in Fanor on the north coast of the Burren. I'm a long-time member of the Burren Trust, and most of you, or some of you who know me, will probably have guessed by now that my favourite Burren flower is the spring gentian, Gentian verna. Here's a little group of them growing right outside my house. If you look very, very closely here, it's 5 petals, and in the centre here you've got beautiful, delicate white and blue fringing. Now these flowers are flowers of Alpine regions, but are abundant in the Burren. Sometimes, occasionally, they can be found in mauve, white, and pale blue. They best seen from about mid-April to the end of May. They can be found at other times in the year. They're probably the best times. I love to go looking for what I call my first gentian, and I have a sense that when I find one, that's it, the Burren is awake. And I know then that it won't be too long before there'll be orchids, there'll be many more of Burren specials, what we call the Burren flowers. And that is such an exciting time, and I'm so lucky just to have it right here beside me. Now I'm going to show off a little bit. I've been walking in the Burren for years, and I had found gentians in quite a few months of the year. There was one missing, January, and about 2 years ago, right outside my door, not very far from where we are right now, I found one. That was just so exciting. It was a little bit silly, but it was very exciting. So I've now found that 12 months of the year. So there's a little project for people now. It can be done. Come visit the Burren when you can, and come out and enjoy the flowers, and just enjoy the Burren and everything about it, and enjoy this Burren in bloom.
I'm Karen Sorensen and I live in Bell Harbour. I'm a Burren Bio member. I was inspired by Burren Bio's Flower a Day postings on Facebook to create my own project of a painting and a haiku for every flower every day. So this is the results of the project. And my favorite flower is the bluebell, and this is a haiku I wrote for it. Unreachable now, hidden like a blue secret, woodland bells dangle. 4/20/2020.
My name is Stephen Lester. I work as a visitor guide. I'm based in the Burren National Park, and I work for the National Parks and Wildlife Service. Our plan is to bring you a series of films to highlight the various habitats here in the park. Today, this wonderful day, we're going to talk about turloughs. Turlough means a disappearing lake. The water level rises and falls in line with the seasons and the underlying water table. In Ireland, they are confined mainly to the west of Ireland, where you have the limestone bedrock. They have a number of characteristics, and we're going to talk about those in a moment. Let's start with the vegetation associated with a turlough. In this small area, we can see the water mint, which has that very familiar scent. We've got the white flower of the water plantain, and just over here we've got the yellow flower of the lesser spearwort. These are all flowers which are typically found in the bed of a turlough. They're all growing in a very thin, shallow soil, and over here we've got the beginnings of that soil. This is known as marl, this white substance, which is the calcium carbonate, which has come from the limestone bedrock around. We're going to now take a short walk over there, and I can show you the swallow hole, or sinkhole as it's known, which is where the water emerges and the lake begins to fill. Whilst we've been here, we've seen a mountain hare. There's been a number of brimstone butterflies, and also various gulls and other birds. And the other day we saw a heron which is feeding beside the water. Inside the water we've noticed tadpoles. So you can see the sinkhole here. We don't know how deep it is. Just to warn you, don't get too close, because we don't know how firm the underlying ground is. I hope you found this film of interest, and we look forward to bringing you the rest of the habitats in due course. Thank you for watching.
Hi, I'm Paul Murphy, and I'm an ecologist living in Carron, and been living in the Burren here since 2006. But I've been coming here for a long time, and every May I used to make botanical peregrinations across to the Burren to go botanizing. So many plants to choose from, and I actually came down to Powellsalloch here today to try and find a very special one, and haven't managed to relocate because I had found it a couple of weeks ago. That's the pyramidal bugle, a very rare plant, and one that is perhaps not so iconic to the Burren, but the Burren is one of its very few stations in Ireland. However, there is a more iconic plant with when it comes to the Burren, and I think everybody knows it, and it's certainly one of my favourites in terms of its beauty, its profusion, its character, and it is of course the spring gentian, Gentiana verna, and here it is in all its glory. It's such stunning blue, hard to describe it exactly, and very hard to capture it in any artistic endeavours. And it grows in tremendous profusion in this sward of grassland here, which is blue moor grass and azurd hawkweed, bird's foot trefoil, daisy, a host of classical Burren plants, and it grows, as I say, in great profusion. infusion past its prime now, and the little seed capsules are beginning to swell and twist, and over the next couple of weeks those blues will disappear and it'll become, unfortunately, have to wait till another spring until we get another bloom. But this has been quite a good year for them, and yeah, they're certainly my and probably everyone's iconic plant of the Burren.
Hello, I'm Brona O'Rourke and you're most welcome to our farm here in Boston. Our farm is made up of lots of different types of really special areas, but this is one of my favourites. In the summertime there's many different flowers that just grow wild here, like the wild roses, and you can see all the other types of flowers. But my favourite thing here is this beautiful ash tree that's been standing here for hundreds of years. It's surrounded by these walls. This area would have been dwelling houses for people in the days pre-famine. So this area is very, very old. These hazel trees have been standing here for hundreds and hundreds of years. My kids love to play and explore around here. And our dog Roxy loves to play in the woods and forage for nice treats and bits and pieces. We find lots of hazelnuts here, and there's lots of different things to keep us exploring for days and days. So thank you for coming to explore our farm.
My name is Anne Buckley and I'm here at the base of Botanical, and one of my favourite plants in the Burren is cat's paw, which is also known as mountain everlasting, or the Irish name, it's also known as the Irish name Turlough. It's a calcite plant that grows in mountainous areas found in northern Europe, Siberia, Russia, that area, but it grows profusely in the Burren throughout the spring and summer. It has two plants, a male and a female plant, but we'll start with the foliage, because foliage is very distinctive foliage and very beautiful. It has a silver edge and a silver back and a very green centre, and very delicate looking. There are two plants, the male plant and the female plant. We'll start with the female plant because that's where the name comes from, cat's paw. It has several florets in the head. It's a lower plant. It turns a nice, it's white with a pinkish tinge when it's in full flower. It has a distinctive cat's paw look, as you can see. The male, on the other hand, the stamens, it's a longer stem, and the flowers are quite a different shape. They're more elongated florets at the top. And yes, it's a beautiful Burren plant and grows among the orchids and the mountain avon throughout the Burren in the summer.